My parents had a perfect daughter, and it wasn't me. I'm 28, and last month I finally named the pattern. At dinner, my sister announced her third pregnancy. My mother turned with that soft, satisfied smile, the one I grew up translating as love, and said, "At least one of my daughters knows how to make me proud." The room kept talking. My fork didn't move. Suddenly, I could map the years, the parties I didn't have because crowds upset Emma, the schools I switched because Emma struggled, the tutors she got, and the compliments I didn't need. When I achieved, it was expected. When Emma completed a worksheet, there were balloons. They taught me that love meant disappearing so someone else could shine. I believed them until they asked me to cancel my wedding. Let me take you back to where this pattern was born. I was 7 when my parents sat me down with serious faces. Emma, 5 and struggling in kindergarten, needed extra support. The word they used was special. My father ruffled my hair. "You're naturally smart, honey. Emma needs more help, so you need to be extra good." I remember sitting straighter, feeling chosen. I was the helper, the responsible one, but extra good had a price list I never saw coming. It meant birthday parties became too overwhelming for Emma, so we had quiet family dinners instead. It meant switching schools when Emma couldn't adjust 3 times before high school. It meant watching my parents write check after check for Emma's tutors while they told me I was naturally beautiful and didn't need new clothes. My honor roll certificates went on the fridge. Emma's past spelling tests got framed. When I was 15, everything crystallized. I got accepted into Johns Hopkins summer science program, full scholarship, once in a lifetime opportunity. I burst through the front door, letter trembling in my hands. The fridge hummed. My mother sat at the kitchen table, circling Disneyland dates with a pink marker. "Oh honey," she said, not looking up from the calendar. "Emma's therapy camp is that same week. We promised her Disneyland afterward. You understand, right? You're so mature." I stood there holding my future while she planned Emma's vacation. The letter grew damp in my sweating palms. That's when I learned the family equation. My dreams minus Emma's needs equals 0. Of course, I heard myself say, Emma comes first. The pattern accelerated through high school. I worked weekends at a grocery store to buy my prom dress, $89 from the clearance rack. Emma got a $500 designer dress for her 8th grade dance because she needed to feel special that night. I studied for SATs alone in my room while they helped Emma with basic fractions at the kitchen table. When college acceptance letters arrived, they seemed irritated that my full-ride scholarship would take me so far from family. But here's what really breaks my heart looking back. I called home every single day my freshman year, not from homesickness, from guilt. "Emma's been crying," my mother would say. "She misses her big sister. Can't you come home this weekend?" So I did. I missed study groups, parties, friendships that could have shaped who I became. I chose family duty over building my own life. Graduation day was supposed to be my moment. 4 years of Dean's List, summa cum laude, a future bright enough to blind anyone. I walked across that stage, scanning the crowd for familiar faces, 2 empty seats. Emma had a school play that afternoon, not even a speaking role, just chorus in the back row. "You'll have other achievements," my mom had said over the phone that morning. "This might be Emma's only chance to shine." I posed for photos with my roommate's parents, who felt sorry enough to stay for the reception. The flash felt hollow. After college, I thought distance would change things. I landed my dream job in marketing, rented my own apartment, started building something that belonged to me. Then Emma graduated high school and needed transition support for community college. The calls started immediately. Can you help Emma write her essay? Can you drive Emma to her counseling appointments? Can you let Emma stay with you for a few days while she figures things out? Those few days became 3 months. Emma treated my apartment like a hotel, dishes in the sink, friends over without asking, music until 2 a.m. on work nights. When I finally asked her to contribute to groceries, she called home in tears. Within an hour, "How could you be so selfish? She's your sister. Family takes care of family." The cycle was complete. I was 30, successful, independent, and still the family caretaker. Then David happened. He was the first person who put me first without conditions. When he proposed 6 months ago, I felt something I'd forgotten existed. Pure joy without calculating the cost to someone else. We planned a beautiful wedding, nothing huge, just 80 people who loved us. I chose flowers Emma was allergic to. I picked a date that worked for us, not everyone else. For once, I was the star of my own story. The save the dates went out on a Tuesday. By Thursday, my phone was ringing. Emma had decided on art school that fall. Tuition was steep. We were hoping, my mother's voice was honey smooth. You could maybe postpone the wedding, have something simple at the courthouse instead. All that money on a party seems wasteful when Emma's future is at stake. I sat in my office, staring at my engagement ring, listening to my mother ask me to trade my wedding for my sister's 4th attempt at finding herself. Something snapped. No. The word hung in the air like a foreign language. "Excuse me?" I said, "No, Mom. I'm not postponing my wedding." The reaction was swift and brutal. My father called me ungrateful. My mother said I'd always been jealous of Emma. Emma sent pages of texts about how I was destroying her dreams and being a horrible sister. They painted me as the villain to our extended family, the selfish daughter who wouldn't sacrifice for love. 3 weeks later, Emma got engaged to her boyfriend of 8 months. Guess who's getting the $30,000 dream wedding I was told was wasteful? Designer dress, destination, bachelor parties, European honeymoon, the whole production I was supposed to feel guilty for wanting. Emma's always been the romantic one, my mother explained when I asked about the sudden budget flexibility. This means more to her than it would to you. That sentence broke something in me that had been cracking for years. I uninvited them, all of them, a group text explaining that people who don't value me don't get to celebrate with me. Then I blocked their numbers. David and I had the most beautiful wedding with 50 people who actually love us. My college roommate walked me down the aisle. My chosen family filled every seat with laughter and tears of joy. Not once did I feel like something was missing. 2 weeks after the wedding, my aunt called with information that made my blood freeze. She had the paperwork from Emma's kindergarten year, no diagnosis, just notes about behavioral adjustment needs and parental consultation recommended. 21 years I'd believed Emma had a learning disability that required family sacrifice. 21 years I'd been the responsible sister helping her special needs sibling. It was a lie. My parents had found a story that excused them from parenting 2 children equally, and they fed it to me until I swallowed it whole. Instead of addressing Emma's behavioral issues or teaching her accountability, they made me the family caretaker and gave Emma a permanent excuse for everything. I wasn't angry at Emma anymore. She's a victim too raised to believe she was fragile. Never taught resilience, never allowed to fail and grow. They damaged both their daughters, just in different ways. Now, I'm building a life based on what I want, not what my family needs from me. David and I are moving to Portland next year. We want children someday, and I'm determined to love them equally, support them individually, and never make one child responsible for another's happiness. Love isn't a stage where one child performs while the other holds the lights. I told David the night my aunt called, "Love builds two spotlights. I'm done holding mine for anyone who won't let me stand in it." Here's what I want you to understand. Your family might be doing this to you right now. The responsible one, the helper, the child who's so mature for their age. These aren't always compliments. Sometimes they're chains disguised as praise. Real love doesn't require one person to disappear so another can shine. Real love doesn't have a favorite child. Real love doesn't keep score of who sacrifices more. What would you have done? Was I wrong to cut them off completely? Or am I finally making choices that are actually mine? Tell me in the comments. Because some days I still wonder if choosing myself makes me the selfish daughter they always said I was.